How you doing, folks? Scott here with Dorsten Custom Firearms, and it has been a while since we've been able to do a video, but we are back to it, and we got some great projects planned. In fact, we're going to be talking about one of them today. Lots been happening. My last video, you saw that I got the new shop going, and we've been in there just a little over a year now. The funny thing is we're going to be moving again soon, but I'll get to that after the video. We'll talk about that. I want to tell you about this video. About this project that we're working on right now. Real quick though, this is the first video that is going to be on our new Rumble channel. We are starting a Rumble channel because YouTube hates gun people. They don't want to monetize us. They want to help us. They don't want us to share our videos. So if you're seeing this on video on YouTube, seeing this video on YouTube, do me a favor. Go over and watch it on Rumble, because Rumble is a place where I will actually be able to do more with my videos than I can on YouTube. All right, so enough of that. This project is going to be really fun. So some of you may have heard of the M73, and I'm going to botch this name, the Menor. It is a French special police revolver. It's got a awesome reputation as a very high-end, durable revolver. Beretta is now importing it. One of the big claims to fame is that during training, they put 150 rounds through the gun a day. They don't say for how long, but it's through their training. They're doing 150 rounds a day with that revolver. Full power, 357 Magnum. And I've been getting questions. It's like, well, how does the Smith Wesson compare to that? It's like, and I don't know. I don't know if they just didn't like the Smith Wesson. I don't know if the Smith Wesson didn't stand up to that durability. It's not something I've ever really tested. So this is what we're going to do. We've decided we're going to do this test. We have, we're doing, we have two identical, okay, Smith & Wesson 686-6s pluses. These are brand new guns. They're the 7 shots. They were both ordered at the same time. They're both, most likely out of the same batch of production at Smith & Wesson. They are identical. But we're not just going to test them as is. One of them is going to stay completely in factory condition. The only thing I'm going to do to it is lock tight down the screws so that we don't have any issues with them backing out during testing. That's the only thing that's being done to one of them. The other one, we are going to completely redo. All right. It's going to get my level 3 extreme trigger and action job. That means the hammer, the trigger, the hand, the cylinder stop, the firing pin, all the springs, everything is going to get replaced. Everything is going to be polished and honed. It's going to have a fantastic trigger on it. It's going to be far superior than the Smith & Wesson trigger. It's going to get the crane lock. I'm going to remove any excess cylinder in-shake, which brand new gun, it really shouldn't have much anyways, but maybe we can get a little tighter. I'm going to re-angle the forcing cone on the barrel. It's going to get an 11-degree forcing cone. It's going to get lengthened just a little bit to make it a better, much smoother transition when the bullet makes a jump from the cylinder to the barrel. I'm going to recut the forcing cones on the cylinder to make sure they're all uniform. They're all the same size. That way, what this is going to do is going to increase accuracy on it. So every bullet should be going through the exact same thing when it's fired. So you got 7 shots there, and it's going to remove any variance between them. It's going to get a new muzzle crown. We're going to upgrade the sights. The front sight's going to get a DX style front sight conversion. If you're not familiar with that, it's basically a wedged spring-loaded setup. It lets you quickly and easily interchange from sight to sight to sight. That way you can have a gold bead front sight. You can have a tritium night sight. You can have a fiber optic sight. You can have a straight black sight. You can have, it's going to come, we're going to offer this as a package deal too. So it's going to come with at least 4 sights, maybe a 5th one if I find an interesting one I want to throw in there. We're going to upgrade the grips. The rear sight, going back to the sights. The rear sight is going to be the rough country rear sight, so it's going to be a much heavier duty, very nice sight. It's going to get grip upgrades. The trigger and hammer are going to be polished. The trigger is going to be recontoured. Once all that's done, this is going to be the really cool part. So, the internal... real quick. The only part that's not going to be replaced is the rebound. Okay? That's the rebound right there. Okay? Or it's a rebound. It's not the one... The gun's still assembled, so it's not the one out of the gun. But that's a rebound. The only reason that part's not getting replaced is that it doesn't need to be. It's not a stress part. It's not something that breaks. 17 years of doing this, I've never seen any kind of a rebound failure. So it's not worth doing the expense of replacing it if it's not going to fail in the first place. So that's the only part that's not going to get replaced. But it will be polished, so it'll be much smoother. Once everything is polished and everything is converted and done, this is the cool part. Okay, all the internal components. That's the trigger, the hammer, the hand, the cylinder stop, everything on the internal side of the gun. The cylinder and the ejector rod and the cylinder catch, okay? Those are all going to be titanium nitride coated. It's going to give it a gold look, okay? It's a very hard surface. Makes it very durable. This is the type of coating that you often see on drill bits when you're in the hardware store that have the gold coating on them. That's titanium nitride. That's how hard and how durable this surface is, okay? The rest of the gun, the frame and the side plate and all, and the crane are going to be titanium aluminum nitride coated, all right? What that is, that's a very similar type of coating where it's hard like that, but it's going to be more of a dark charcoal gray. So you may have seen drill bits that are like that as well, that are dark charcoal gray. That's the coating that's going to be on the rest of the gun. So we're going to have a nice contrast. It's going to look really cool. All right, the grips will be upgraded. Then what we're going to do, once it's all done, I'm also going to be making a nice presentation box for it too. It's going to be a really cool package gun. Once all that's done, all the work has been done to this gun. When I say we, I'm teaming up with Tom Russell of American Firearms Academy. All right. We're going to do 150 rounds each time we shoot them through each gun. It's all going to be filmed, so if there's any failures or hiccups or anything like that, we're going to catch it on camera. And we're going to do that for 3,000 rounds each. So 6,000 rounds total, 3,000 rounds each gun. To my knowledge, I haven't been able to find a YouTube video where they've done this sort of long-term high round count test of the Smith Wesson revolvers. So we're really going to get a sense of what's going on. Every 500 rounds, I'm going to tear the guns down. I'm going to mic everything out. I'm going to have all of the starting measurements for, cylinder gap, if the crane is stretching, any stretching of the frame or anything like that. I mean, that's a big thing that people talk about. Well, the Smith & Wesson frame stretch. I don't believe so. It's not something that I've ever been able to prove that it happens. It may be one of those old wives' tales. I don't know. But we will be measuring all that so that if it is something that happens, we'll be able to tell that it's happening because we'll have everything mic'd out. So we're going to do that for 3,000 rounds in each gun. And if there's any failures, any hiccups, any glitches, everything we're going to catch on film. So we'll be able to show you that stuff. So it'll be really interesting to see how each setup puts up to this kind of torture test. Now there has been torture tests before. Military Arms Channel did one with a Model 10 where he did his sand, mud, water deal, and that was a cool video. I really liked it. That's not what we're going for here. We are talking about just like hammering the gun. We're talking about just round after round after round after round, seeing what the gun's going to be doing. It'll be cleaned properly after each session. That's routine maintenance. That's what you should be doing with any gun. But we're just going to put a lot of rounds through these guns. So it's going to be a really cool video. The ammo we're going to be using, as of right now, is going to come from Absaroka Valley Ammo. They're actually going to be changing their name soon to Wyoming Cartridge Company. Okay, so look for them. They're supplying all the ammo for this. They're going to supply all 6,000 rounds. They're a new ammo company. They've been up and going for almost a year now, maybe just a little over a year. Really good people working there, just really fantastic people that are running that company and working there. And that's part of the other news. So I am going to be moving the shop. They have an extra building where their facility is, and they're renting me out one of their spots to move my gunsmith shop. With that, I'm going to be helping them out with ammo testing and their ballistics lab and stuff like that. So worked out a really great deal with them, and it's going to be so beneficial to both sides. One, just working with them to improve their products and making sure they're putting out the best products they can. And then me having, being right next door to an ammo facility. I mean, how fantastic is that? I need ammo. It's like, okay, here you go. So that's really cool. So they're going to be supplying the ammo. I'll be doing some of the shooting here. I'll have guests coming on to do some of the shooting. I'm going to. There's a local political newscaster here in town, David Iverson, with Cowboy State Politics. I'm going to drag him out to the range and let him put 150 rounds through each one of these guns. I'm going to send the guns down to Tom Russell so that he can evaluate the guns. And he's going to have his students shooting the guns too, so they can really see, they can see the differences between a full custom gun versus a factory stock gun. I mean, that's the biggest thing right there. From the factory, the Smith & Wesson, this gun has a 15-pound double action trigger pull, okay? So much of a trigger pull that my Lyman trigger pull cage really can't even measure it because it's got a 12-pound maximum, okay? Now, reliability-wise, my double-action trigger jobs will usually end up between 9 and 10 pounds depending on the gun. It varies a little bit from gun to gun. 9 pounds is about average. 10 pounds is about the most. But you want to keep it at those levels so that you have a reliable ignition. For instance, this is my Smith & Wesson Model 629. This is the first gun I've ever owned. Bought it when I was 21. This has a double action trigger pull of 10 pounds, and it is 100% reliable. At 10-pound trigger pull, I have never had it not ignite a primer, okay? And I mean some of the hardest primers you can find. The single action trigger pull is 2 pounds on this gun. The 686 from the factory, 4-pound trigger pull. My trigger, 2-pound trigger pull. Let me tell you, you can get some accurate shots at range with a 2-pound trigger pull on a 6-inch 44 Magnum. You can get some really good shots in. So, that is what we're going to be doing with this project. I'm going to be filming just about every aspect of it. I'm probably not going to film every aspect of the trigger job because I've already done a series of videos on that. But on all of the extra stuff that this one's getting, that the other thing didn't cover, we'll be getting video of that process, so you guys will be able to see the processes of that going on. And, you'll see it from start to finish. It's going to be a really fun project. The sight upgrades, the new crown, just the extreme amount, basically everything that can be done to this gun is going to be done to this gun. So it's going to be more accurate. It's going to be smoother. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. You just can't ask for anything more when it comes to that. And it's going to have so many different options when it comes to the front sight and stuff like that. It's just a really cool project. All right. So stay tuned in. Go over to my Rumble channel. It's the same name as my YouTube, is VDC Firearms. Go over there, like and subscribe those. Watch it on the Rumble, because that way it'll increase my circulation on Rumble and it'll get things going there. All right. Stay tuned in, and I'll see you soon. This is Scott, your friendly neighborhood gunsmith. I'll see you next time.